Hi and welcome. This is not a show, so I don't know what we're doing.
Yay!
I'm here with Joseph Maxwell Rhodes, and this is Elton Judah McNeil, and we're going to talk about a lot of previews have come out.
Yeah.
It's been this last week. We've had the Thor preview. The week before we had the It preview. And then today we got Star Wars preview.
Yeah.
So let's start in order. Let's talk about the It preview to start. Right. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so we're entering the trailer park. Well, I loved the miniseries. I don't know if you've ever seen It miniseries when it was on TV, but it was like one of my favorites, and I was a little kid, so I was scared so bad. But I'm not a big fan of scary movies, but that has to be either the only scary movie or one of the very few that I have on DVD.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I just love the story, and so when I've been hearing rumors that they're trying to do it, and I think that they had recast Pennywise, the clown. And I was thinking, oh, well, I don't know how they're going to do it into a trailer. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. So at first I was thinking, I don't know how they're going to do it into a movie, because in the original, it was like literally 4 hours long. They had two sections, 2 hours when they were kids and then 2 hours when they're adults.
Oh, yeah. So when you say the TV miniseries, yeah. I thought that was a regular movie. That was made for TV?
Yeah, it was made for TV, and it's 4 hours long. So they did it 1 week. They did for 2 hours, or maybe an hour and a half. Wow. And then the next following week is the kids grow up and they're adults and they have to come back.
Yeah, the preview, I found it. I think what I liked about it is the contrast between the old one looking so old, and the new one looking so slick and realistic.
Yeah.
It made it seem more scary. It had that Stranger Things vibe a little bit, maybe. Well, it has one of the actors from Stranger Things, so that's part of it.
Yeah.
But
I think Tim Curry, is that the main actor who did Pennywise?
Yeah.
And so he actually did a spin where he played with the character a little bit to make it a little bit more fun, more clowny.
Oh.
And from what I understand, the book is the clown is not clowny at all. It's just really intense, scary clown. Yeah. And so this take is more, I think, closer to the book. And so I think that's what they're trying to do, as opposed to being like, he's a clown, he pulls people in because he's funny and stuff, and then he turns creepy.
Yeah,
which is a good twist, but this is just creepy from the get-go.
Well, I did appreciate that they didn't show very much of Pennywise.
Yeah.
The majority was just kind of like glimpses,
mm-hmm.
and it was nightmarish. Anyways, by the end, when the kid just keeps saying, "What did he say? You'll float. You'll float."
Here.
Huh?
We'll all float down here.
We'll all float down here. We'll all float down here. I was like, whoa, this is...
And then you see the clown like,
yeah.
Like, whoa. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to see it.
The next one I want to talk about was Thor.
Yeah.
That came out, at the beginning of the week?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I think a lot of people have high hopes, but... It looks so different in substance to the previous Thors. It feels totally different than the last one. It looks totally different than the last one. And the subject matter, it's interesting that everything's thrown into chaos. Somebody else is in charge. I can't tell if Loki is helping get the kingdom back or what. I mean, I thought I know him from work thing was really funny. Yeah. I thought that was really funny.
There's one Hulk cartoon that has Hulk versus Wolverine and Hulk versus Thor.
Oh.
And versus Thor one is where Loki separates the Hulk from Bruce Banner and sends Bruce Banner to hell. Looks like they're taking a part of that story and they're mixing it with World War Hulk.
Yeah.
And combining it because that's all comic stuff.
Yeah.
And
so it's interesting. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be good, bad, what?
I don't know. I think it's going to be. I mean, Marvel does enjoyable, entertaining movies.
Yeah.
They have a good enough action to keep you in there. Story is not always the most elaborate, but it's good enough to kind of keep you in there. And they put a little sprinkle enough humor in there. Yeah. They just make enjoyable movies.
Yeah, they really do.
So whether it's going to be like amazing, I don't think it's going to be groundbreaking, but it'll be enjoyable. I think that's. I think they know how to do it.
Yeah, I think the idea of Thor and Hulk teaming up to bust out of this hellish planet, that really intrigues me. That sounds like a lot of fun. But if I'm afraid they're going to show just a tiny bit of that and focus too much on the Loki politics aspect of it, maybe not. The latest one to come out, we'll say last week, was a Star Wars one. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, they already showed that Kylo Ren already destroyed his mask, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a chance, and it's Star Wars, so I would imagine it's pretty good. And because Disney is really they were able to get Marvel movies down to a science to where they're enjoyable movies.
Yeah.
And this, I guess, is the third one of theirs, so it's going to take a little time to get in to the rhythm of Star Wars or the Star Wars universe.
Right.
But I have hopes that they're going to do well. And it sounds like what they're going to do is really challenge, like Luke Skywalker is going to kind of challenge Jedi teaching.
Yes.
The question whether it's like, what? Maybe things have been passed along over the centuries and it's gotten to where someone, maybe even Yoda's interpretation of what the Jedi should do, as opposed to really the balance of the Force. Because if there's a balance of the Force, then it's almost like there's going to be a little dark side that you're going to be playing with, as well as light side, but you got to be able to balance the two or harmonize.
Right.
And Jedi, they're like no dark side at all.
The two most intriguing things are, one, they show these ancient books, kind of like a light kind of shining down on these ancient books, and and at the end you hear Luke saying he wants to see the Jedi's end.
What's interesting is I watched the trailer a couple times. And I couldn't tell whether it was Kylo Ren saying it or Luke Skywalker, because it almost sounds like the voices sound the same. And I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like Luke Skywalker is, because he was battling with the dark and light side. Same with Darth Vader, and Kylo Ren, he is like battling it too.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was Kylo Ren. It wasn't until the second time where I realized that it was Luke standing in the shadows and his mouth was moving, saying it.
But if you listen to the voice, it's hard to tell whether
it really
it's Mark
is.
Hamill or.
I thought it was.
I wonder if they did that on purpose. They could do a lot with this movie, but they have to make Kylo Ren grow in force power.
Yeah.
From the last one, because he was too immature or too young, or his force power is just chaotic.
Right.
And it's unpredictable. Know how to control it on a regular basis. And so you saw at one point in the beginning of the last one where he was able to stop a phaser blast in midair.
Yeah.
Which, even Darth Vader couldn't do that.
Well, I think his lightsaber is a good indication of what he is. His lightsaber, his homemade, is unstable. He's got one of those unstable crystals and super powerful. So, that's kind of how I see him, is like kind of what you're talking about, maybe having this chaotic overpower.
Yeah, and Split.
But it's and Split. Yeah. And I think that's how he is. He's like incredibly powerful, but incredibly unstable. So if Rey is the force of good, they need someone who is as equal to her, or at least able to be her weakness. Able to prey on her weakness.
I think they have to make someone stronger than her, because he's not just going against her. He's also now going against Luke Skywalker and all that kind of stuff. So I think they really have to gain a lot of ground with him.
I agree.
And it's possible. It's really, because we don't know much about Snoke.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. And even though this isn't a show, we would love for you to check us out on iTunes. That's where if you're listening now on iTunes, check us out on YouTube. Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, check us out on iTunes for the full unedited version. You'll get to hear us naked.
Or iTube.
iTube. It's a combination.
It's a little bit of YouTube and iTunes together.